Hey everybody, my name is Devin Smith and I am a developer at Deephaven. I'm going to be going over Docker and IntelliJ on Linux specifically, but this is hopefully an intro to set up and get use out of the Docker UI present in IntelliJ. I have found that while Windows and Mac OS users have the advantage of Docker desktop, the IntelliJ Docker services UI is a very good product for Linux users. So here we have our IntelliJ opened up to our Deephaven Community Core project. I have kind of stripped down bare here so we can see it be set up from the very beginnings. So what we have to do is we have to add a new configuration here. And what it's going to be is it's a Docker Compose configuration. So let's go ahead and add a Docker Compose configuration. First of all, we have to add our server. Let's see if it's figured out that we have a local Docker server running. If you were doing a remote server, you could change these configurations here. So we'll just leave that right there. And then what we're going to do is we'll call this DH Python, and I will just say this is a development setup, so I'll just call it dev. And what we have to do is we have to find our compose file here. It should be in our Deephaven core, and it should just be docker-compose.yml YAML. Go ahead and add that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and just explicitly add our environment variables file here. That should be this .env file. If you don't see the .env file here, you can it's probably being hidden from you, and you can probably type .env here in whatever your source is and pick that up. Let's see what other options we have here. You could change some of these if you need, but that's basically what we have right now. And then one of the important things here is before launch, we want to make sure we build the project. And we have got a Gradle task called prepare compose. I go ahead and run the Gradle task. Looks like I need to select the project here. And it's the task prepare compose. Don't think we need any VM arguments, options, arguments, or environment variables. I think that should be good to go. Go ahead and do that. We are set up with a project where we can go ahead and click run here. There we go. It's calling prepare compose for us. We'll build the images and then do a Docker compose up. Hopefully everything works out here because I haven't ran anything this morning. So it looks like there we go. It's been created. It's running. And now we have this services window right here. Shows everything that I'm running on my system. Here's this task that we just did, this Docker compose, and it's showing us that it started everything successfully. Now it's showing us here's where it created everything. I've got some other services that might be running. Shows all the containers that we have if we want to look at those. Shows us all our images if we want to look at the different images that we have. What I find most useful about the Docker services view is we can jump right into our compose configuration, look at the containers that we have running, and jump right into their logs. We can look at the properties for this container, the environment variables, the port bindings. This container doesn't have any port bindings, but our Envoy container does. If we jump over to Envoy port bindings, we'll see we have port 10,000 exposed. We do have some volumes for the gRPC API, but one of the coolest things that I like is we can go ahead and actually do a file browser too. So this is browsing in the container, looking at its file system, and we can actually open this up in IntelliJ, which is really handy for debugging what's actually going on. So we can jump over to the Envoy files, and we can look at what is Docker entry. Remember exactly what it was. So that is how to start the DH Python. If you want to start up a Groovy session, it's going to be very similar. And we'll go ahead and just copy this configuration right here. We'll change the name to DH Groovy. Oops. Dev. And all we have to change is the environment file that it points to. And we will change to default _groovy.env. Everything else can remain the same. We can apply that. So now we've got a Groovy session that we can go ahead and start up right here. Go ahead and click run. It's going to prepare the project again. It should be pretty fast. And it's just going to recreate the gRPC API now with Groovy. Everything else is up to date. Go in here, we can go into the logs, make sure it started up. Okay, we've got a Groovy session now. So that is a quick tour of how to set up the Deephaven Community Core project for the development environments for Python and Groovy, and a quick exploration of the services. Thank you for watching.